All across America, critics are raving about the movie event of the year.
It is American, 100%. That's what I'm talking about.
Title:
Cool.
Civil War 2024. Introduction: Setting the stage. The year is 2024. The United States, once considered a beacon of democracy and unity, is now a nation torn apart by deep-seated divisions. Economic inequality, political polarization, and social injustice have festered for years, reaching a breaking point. The government is paralyzed, unable to address the grievances of its citizens. We are introduced to the main characters: John Roberts, a decorated war veteran struggling to find his place in civilian life; Sarah Alvarez, a passionate activist advocating for social justice and equality; David Miller, a wealthy businessman with connections to the political elite. John, haunted by his experiences in the military and disillusioned with the government's failures, grapples with his sense of duty and his growing disillusionment. Sarah, fueled by a sense of injustice and a desire for change, becomes increasingly involved in grassroots movements and protests. David, a shrewd opportunist, sees the chaos as a chance to advance his own interests, regardless of the cost to others. As tensions escalate across the country, the government responds with increasingly authoritarian measures, further inflaming the situation. Protests erupt into violence as clashes between demonstrators and law enforcement become commonplace. The media is polarized, amplifying the divisions within society. John, struggling to reconcile his loyalty to his country with his growing disillusionment, finds himself caught between his duty as a soldier and his conscience as a human being. Sarah, driven by her convictions, becomes a prominent voice in the resistance movement, risking everything to fight for what she believes is right. David, seizing the opportunity, manipulates events behind the scenes, pulling strings to further his own agenda and protect his interests. As the situation spirals out of control, the government declares martial law, suspending civil liberties and cracking down on dissent. The country stands on the brink of civil war. John, Sarah, and David find themselves on opposite sides of the conflict, each facing their own moral dilemmas. John is torn between his loyalty to his fellow soldiers and his belief in upholding the principles of democracy and freedom. Sarah must confront the harsh realities of war as she fights for the ideals she holds dear, risking everything for the chance to make a difference. David, blinded by ambition and greed, is willing to sacrifice anyone and anything to protect his wealth and power, regardless of the human cost. As the violence escalates and the death toll rises, each character is forced to confront the consequences of their choices. Act 4. The Cost of Conflict. The Civil War exacts a heavy toll on all sides. Families are torn apart, communities are destroyed, and the fabric of society is irreparably damaged. John witnesses firsthand the human cost of war as he fights alongside his fellow soldiers, grappling with the morality of his actions. Sarah faces unimaginable horrors as she witnesses the brutality of the government's crackdown on dissent, driven by a sense of righteous anger and determination. David, insulated by his wealth and privilege, remains indifferent to the suffering around him, consumed only by his thirst for power. Act 5. Redemption and Reconciliation. As the conflict reaches its climax, John, Sarah, and David are forced to confront their own demons and reckon with the choices they have made. John, disillusioned by the brutality of war, lays down his arms and joins the resistance, determined to fight for a better future. Sarah, battered but unbowed, emerges as a symbol of hope and resilience, inspiring others to continue the struggle for justice and equality. David, finally confronted with the consequences of his actions, realizes the emptiness of his pursuit of power and wealth, seeking redemption in the midst of chaos. Conclusion: A Nation Reborn. In the aftermath of the Civil War, the United States is forever changed. The scars of conflict run deep, but from the ashes of destruction, a new society begins to emerge. John, Sarah, and David, each in their own way, play a role in rebuilding a nation torn apart by division and strife. Together, they forge a path forward, guided by the principles of freedom, equality, and justice for all. As the sun rises on a new day, the promise of a brighter future beckons, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of hope in the face of adversity. Epilogue: Lessons Learned Civil War, 2024, serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of division and the importance of unity in the face of adversity. In a world increasingly divided by politics, ideology, and identity, it is more important than ever to recognize our common humanity and work together to build a better future for all. The road ahead may be long and difficult, but as long as we stand together, there is hope for a world where peace, justice, and equality reign supreme.